If I have the funds ready, of course I need to talk with my investors, but most of the time I try to take a decision within 48 hours.
48 hours?
Yeah.
Even for big tickets?
The time I answered the guy, I said, yes, can I visit tomorrow? The guy said, sold. I was like, 4 minutes. Talk about it? Let's go. Well, yes,
Successful.
The first flip, basically...
It's always the first flip.
Yeah.
The first flip. It's
course.
always a mess.
Recently, I heard Chris saying that he wants 1,000 apartments in
Oh.
Dubai. And I was like, yes.
Do you want candy?
I'm like, yeah, I'm the agent. You know what?
You didn't get anything.
Nothing. He gave me like a pen and
He gave you chocolate.
and a book. You know, that's it.
One, two, three. Thomas,
Mohammed,
nice to have you.
thank you.
How are you?
Very good. And you?
Good, long day, huh?
Yeah.
Great. So you're one of the first people, or actually the first person that I met in Dubai, and that was doing something very interesting that usually is very popular in North America and in Europe, but more in North America, which is basically fix and flip.
Correct.
And if I'm not mistaken, actually, let's just take 2 steps back and just give me an idea about how you got into it, because I remember that you were in real estate first in France, then you moved to the States, and you had like a pretty good run from a young age in this field. So give us an idea about that.
All right, sure. So I've started at 16 years old in France in a classic real estate agency where I was doing mostly rentals. So this is how I started, and then I started to go into the wealth management of the business, so more on the investment, optimization, etc. And we were doing US real estate at the same time. So at 18 years old, I sold my first property in the US.
At 18?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
From France.
Where in the US?
In north of the US in Michigan.
Okay,
in Detroit.
Michigan.
And after that, like maybe 1 year later, I moved to the US in Miami. Yeah, I've worked there in like different asset class, like multifamily, luxury real estate, etc., etc. And voila. And after I came back to France for 1 year, I was still doing wealth management, US real estate for my clients, etc.
Yeah.
So yeah, and 4 years ago I moved to Dubai.
But as opposed to all the other people, I mean, every other person or any person now is pretty much a real estate agent in Dubai.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Well, I mean, fortunately and unfortunately, depends how you look at it. But you decided to take a completely different route, and which is what I really respect about you. And you decided to do things very differently. So this is how you got into fix and flip in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
So was that the first, let's say, venture that you got into here?
So basically, when I moved to Dubai 4 years ago, I was working with someone. Basically, we had a turnkey real estate investment company that was investing in the US, but from Dubai, and our main strategy was fix and flip.
Right.
So this is how I actually started in fix and flip, working with them. And yeah, when I started to work on my own and completely stop with them, I mean, it was the last thing that I did.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, let's do the same thing. And at the beginning, I wanted to do exactly the same thing in the US, but different states, mostly in Florida, because I got all my network in Florida.
Yeah.
And because of the current real estate market in the US, the interest rates, etc., and the booming market in Dubai, I've decided to a little bit switch the offer and focus more on the Dubai market.
So basically you made this move, but what initially was the deciding factor that made you move from the US or France into Dubai? Like, why specifically Dubai as opposed to any other real estate market that you could have gone into?
So basically the first thing, in 2019, I've been to Dubai for the second time, and I've stayed here for 1 month.
2019, that was just before Corona.
Before lockdown.
Before Corona.
Yeah.
Okay.
Corona was not even in the plans yet.
But it was close.
Yeah, it was close.
It was just a
6
few
months ahead. Or
yeah.
something. And so I came here for 1 month. I've worked here for 1 month with this guy, and I was supposed to move to Dubai, but some things happened in my business life. We can talk about it later, but I had to stay in France for 1 extra year.
Yeah.
And when I came back, so September 2020, same. I was supposed to stay only for 1 month. And I never left Dubai because I got some opportunities here.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, this is how I started and decided to move to Dubai. It was not in my plans.
Yeah.
But
So it just happened, basically.
It just happened.
All right, that's really good. Do you, in regards to fix and flip or just flipping apartments and real estate in general, do you think for a good period of time it had very good returns for you? I remember that you were making really good returns for your investors. They were very happy. Is that still the case?
It depends the kind of units you target. At the beginning, I was more targeting the small units like apartments, 1 or 2 bedroom apartments, and we used to make very good returns.
How much? What returns are we talking
25% return for apartments
in 6 months?
Yeah,
it's not bad at all. Okay.
It's very good, and nowadays it's a little bit more difficult to find this kind of deals
because of the prices.
Yeah, the prices. The landlords are greedy. They think the price of the market will continue to grow to the moon, but we never know. But
it might. I mean, at this rate, it might. They just announced the Dubai airport plan, so we don't know. Maybe that's gonna make it go even higher.
Yeah. Well, let's see. But it's not good for my business because I make my money when we buy very low. So yeah, but we still do fix and flip. But we just shifted a little bit the strategy.
Yeah.
That's why now we focus more on luxury products like penthouse and villas.
Penthouse and villas, basically, like high-end villas.
Yes, because the returns are much better, and when you play with bigger amounts, you have more margin and more flexibility.
Yeah. So I'm Thomas, and I'm looking to flip a property. What are the key things that I look at to pick the right property?
The first thing I would say are like purchase price.
Obviously,
of course,
goes without saying.
Yeah. Purchase price. Make sure that you check the historic of transactions and all of that. Make sure you buy at the right price.
And you can do that here.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay. So basically, you can go back and check the history of prices, which is pretty good. I mean, they have a good database here, and it's very transparent.
Exactly.
Okay.
So this is the first thing. The second thing I look at is, okay, what is the worst case scenario if I don't flip the property on time? Like, will I still make a good returns in short-term rental, for example, the time to resell it? If yes, I consider it as a good deal. So I look at the potential short-term rental income that the property can produce. And of course, I look at what are the possibilities in terms of renovations, what can be done. For example, let's say we can add, rooftop on the villa or something like that. Yeah. It's something that we need to check, and also need to check with the developers, etc., the approvals to do some kind of renovations. For example, there is certain areas in Dubai where you cannot renovate the exterior of the villa, so I don't consider it as a very good deal in general because you are very limited in what you can do.
You can just do internal modifications.
The added value is not huge.
Yeah. So what about neighborhood? Like, do you believe that also picking specific kind of neighborhoods also has a big factor as to maybe some neighborhoods will not be so attractive for flipping properties as opposed to other neighborhoods? Yeah.
So I think there is 2 kind of neighborhoods. The one where you can do flipping and the one where you can do great income with rentals, for example.
Yeah.
Most of the time, both are not like they're not the same.
They cannot be in the same place.
Yeah. For example, let's say JVC.
Yeah.
I think is very good for rentals in general, in long-term rental.
Yeah.
But to make good capital gains,
probably not.
Not sure. So the neighborhoods are important when we talk about luxury products. I mean, currently we target villas on the Palm.
Yeah.
For me, this is very safe, and we play safe by going on the Palm because, I mean, there is more and more millionaires coming to Dubai every year. Mm-hmm. They need to live somewhere, and there is like kind of shortage, let's say, in the supply of villas, renovated villas, because there's a lot of Arabic style villas existing on the market, but when you have a lot of Europeans or something like that coming to Dubai, they want to have something fully renovated, something nice for them. So if you renovate this kind of properties and sell it, make great returns, and you have potential buyers already.
But like, why in the last few years there's been such an influx of high net worth individuals into Dubai? Like, it's a bit crazy. I mean, I think I read an article the other day by, I think it was property .ae or something. I forgot the exact website, but it mentioned that there was a rise of 63% in the rent of villas at the Palm.
Yeah, correct. In Q1 2024.
In just one quarter.
Yeah.
And this is in addition to all the other high net worth individuals that were moving in.
Yeah.
From your experience and from dealing with all these people, like what are the factors that's making all of this capital or all of these people kind of like in one way or another escape where they are or and settling here?
I think it's very simple. You just have to look at the current situation in the world.
Yeah.
Europe is declining a lot. I mean,
In what sense?
safety, tax, government decisions, a lot of bad things happen in the world.
People are fed up.
Yeah, especially in Europe. The wars, I guess, like Ukraine, Russia, of course. I mean, it's difficult to live in a country where you have war going on.
Yeah.
So many wars and situation in Europe. On the US side, American side, there is not a lot of Americans coming to Dubai, US, because they are still taxed anyway. So there is not a huge advantage for them.
They'll be taxed whether they stay in the States or move abroad.
Yeah. So, just current situation in the world. People need to park money somewhere and to live in a better life. I mean, here you have 0% tax on the personal income, 9% tax on corporate, but still you need to match certain criteria to pay this tax. And the business hub is huge. There is a lot of safety. I mean, it's beautiful to live sun 24/7 basically. You can go to the beach, whatever.
Yeah, and I think it's also a lot of, from what I noticed, that there's also a lot of concessions that are being offered, a lot of facilities being offered for specific categories of people. That's also making it very attractive. But when you want to find a deal and, let's say, for example, find a property and just make a decision on it so that you can, buy it and just go ahead with the project and just start with the procedure. Usually, how much time, everything is so hot right now. So, how much time do you have until, by the time you get the listing and make a decision?
If I have the funds ready, of course, I need to talk with my investors, but most of the time, I try to take a decision within 48 hours.
48 hours?
Yeah.
Even for big tickets?
Well, for big tickets, we can take a little bit more time.
Yeah.
But faster we go, less deal we will lose. I lost a lot of deals because I didn't have the money ready. I had money that was supposed to come at this date. Of course, got delayed, etc. So
a few days is just making a big difference for you.
If you have a very good deal, distress under market value, this doesn't stay a long time in the market. So you need to be fast. For example, last time we did an event, not the one with you, the one that I did in Blue Waters.
Yeah.
Just before this event, I received a distress deal, potential 27% return. Nothing to do, it was brand new, just a little bit of furniture, but that's it. The time I answered the guy, I said, yes, can I visit tomorrow? The guy said, sold. I was like, 4 minutes. Bro, 4 minutes. So you need to be very, very fast. So that's why I got a streamlined process when I receive a deal.
Yeah.
Boom, I put all the numbers, do my calculations for my investor so he can have expected returns if he wants to invest the money, etc. So we can take decision faster as well.
Wow. Okay. So you've been very successful at what you do, and I really respect all of the work and the effort that you've done so far, because I've seen the quality of the work and it's amazing. It's great. But obviously you've had challenges just like any other business. Have you ever had a project that was just really a mess? You wish you didn't take it, and maybe you had different plans and then it just didn't go as you wanted?
We'll talk about it. Let's go. Yes. So it was not on the fix and flip business, but in my previous experience. So how I started.
You want to talk about the? Leave that till the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stay until the end, guys. Follow.
No, in regards to fix and flip, have you ever had the deal gone bad here in Dubai, or do you feel like
Dubai.
Everything was relatively
yes,
successful?
The first flip, basically,
it's always the first flip.
Yeah,
the first flip. It's always a mess.
The first flip, I dealt with this contractor, and basically I told him, okay, how much will be the price for the renovation from A to Z, including furnitures, everything.
Yeah.
Give me this price. Okay, good. Well, it's cheap. and I saw what he has done before. The quality was very nice for the price, etc. Let's go. So at handover, I said, but where are the kitchen appliances? No fridge, no dishwasher, nothing. He told me, yeah, but this I cannot include because I don't have the insurance. You need to buy by yourself. Yeah, but tell me like in advance. Don't tell me everything is included. Tell me, okay, like the sofa is included, but not this. Anyway, I got to pay this, and this was not included in the budget. Well, it was a 1-bedroom, so like when you had a fridge, you had this, this can affect a little bit the returns.
Yeah.
And I was just not ready for that, but that's it.
Yeah.
Basically.
It wasn't so bad.
Okay. Yeah.
It's manageable. It could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, but like just how they don't connect their brands sometimes and just say like, be honest, transparent with me. Don't hide something to.
I mean, I'm originally a contractor, so I have to admit our people sometimes can be a little bit.
Yeah.
Sometimes we can be a little bit wishy-washy.
Yeah.
But
okay.
we improve. Little by little. When you started off here, initially, did you have a hard time convincing your investors about the potentials of the market, or were they really bought in on the idea from the beginning?
It was easy, let's say, because...
So they were already comfortable.
Yeah, because before, I used to raise funds to invest from France or from Dubai to the US, and I was not in the US physically.
Right.
And I still managed to make it. So if I said, okay, I raise funds to invest in Dubai and I will be physically in Dubai and I manage and I can go every week to the property sending you videos myself. Yes, it was much easier.
No brainer.
Yeah.
It was very good. And your investors, just for the ones that are watching, you have investors from all over Europe?
Yeah, everywhere. Of course, I have a lot of French investors because I'm French. But we have investors from UK, investors that are born in Dubai, India, etc.
Nice. And now we also have another part of your business that's also very interesting, because I remember you told me that you pivoted a little bit. Well, not really pivoted, but you just also started to put a lot of focus on subleasing, which is kind of a new vertical that you and your partner Chris have decided to get into. I know Chris, I met him, he's a great guy, wonderful guy. And I understand that he was also a big subleaser in London.
Yeah.
Can you just give just a brief idea about how subleasing works and what it is, and for the ones that just are watching, to sort of get an idea? So
basically subleasing, to make it simple, is like you rent a property long term and you sublease it on a short-term rental platform like Airbnb, Booking.com, etc.
Right.
And you take the difference.
But don't you? I mean, obviously, you need the approval of the
owner, of course.
That's the thing. Is it actually easy to convince him to do that?
It depends how you do it. And I'm lucky to partner with Chris. He's doing it for 12 years, so he has the full pitch. He knows everything about subleasing.
Yeah.
So we have a way to show to the landlords how to convince them. But basically, when you tell them that we will take care of the property more than a regular tenant, because we are guests will leave us reviews. So if we have bad reviews because we don't maintain the property clean, this will affect our revenue. So we don't want that. So that's why we send cleaners, maintenance, etc. all the time. And also we increase the value of the property because we'll furnish it, but we will also have some soft renovation, TV wall unit, stuff like that. I mean, this will stay in the property the day we will leave the property.
Yeah. You'll just take the furniture, basically.
Yeah. So it's an added value for the landlord. And also, most of the time, we try to negotiate a few years contract, like 2-3 years contract minimum. So the landlord is guaranteed that he will have a tenant for 2 or 3 years, which is not the case, especially in Dubai. A lot of people come in one apartment for 1 or 2 years and then they switch and they want to change, etc.
And it's a headache every year to do this.
Yeah. And if you just list your property on the market, it stays 2, 3, 4 months not rented. It's a lot of money lost. Better to sign something and be safe about having a tenant. So that's.
But do you so you pay them the entire rent up front?
No. If we do that, in Dubai, you pay by checks.
Right.
So more checks we give, more apartment we can take. So most of the time we try to negotiate 4 to 6 checks.
Okay.
4 checks, meaning we pay 3 months up front. We pay the security deposit.
But you give them all the checks up front, but post-dated.
Exactly.
All right. So basically it's kind of to improve your cash flow.
Yeah, correct.
But with subleasing, it's just the same way. You guys are very successful and you're doing it very well. There's also a lot of horror stories on the other side. So I've seen and met a lot of people that are just waiting for the contract to finish so that they can get out of it, and they wish they never got into it in the first place because of just all of the things and the issues and the problems that come along with it. Why does it turn into such a bad investment for some and just a great a business opportunity for others? Like, why is it that these particular people are just really not successful at it? Like, what are they doing wrong, in your opinion?
Well, I think there is a lot of hype, and subleasing became a very huge trend recently. Here and worldwide, but mostly in Dubai. And everyone thinks that it's easy to run the subleasing apartment. But no, it's an actual job, 24/7 job.
Really?
Yeah.
You have to be on top of it all the time, even when because usually you'd think that you rent it and you don't have that much headache.
No. Hopefully I don't manage this part of the job, but I mean, I'm in the Telegram group, WhatsApp group, etc. with the team, just to see like what's happening. It's
daily
like
drama.
When you have a guest at 2 a.m. texting you, I don't have I lost the keys, or you need to. I mean, this is the kind of things you don't want to face. That's also the reason why I think if you want to make money with subleasing, the only option is to either be very professional and have experience in subleasing, or just partner with someone who have the experience and will manage everything for you. Like us, this is the turnkey product that we provide in subleasing. So basically the investor put the money to pay this 3 months rent in advance, deposit, agency fees, furnitures, and a little bit of fees for us, because we find the property, we furnish it, and we rent it, and we manage the day-to-day operation. So all the checking, cleaning, checkout, all of that is covered. And I think you need to do it. And also because if you don't do it this way, if you want to start with 1-2 apartments, it's great, but your cost of your cost will not be optimized. For us, it starts to be optimized because we will have a lot of units, and when you pay for example one operation manager, this guy can manage 1 apartment, but he can also manage 100 apartments, for example. So you start to optimize a little bit. So that's why if you want to do subleasing, you have to go big, or don't go, or do it with someone else and that manage it for you.
So you believe that people that are just doing it with small amount of properties are just gonna struggle
if they do everything themselves. Yes, because they are doing a full-time job for not a lot of income for 2 units. Not crazy.
So the way to make money in this is basically to go in with the intention that you're gonna scale on a very large amount.
I think so.
Interesting. I mean, I met quite a few, and I've seen even texts from people that are just they have like maybe 10 apartments. They're just running it by themselves, and they just can't. It's just too much. It's a lot of work, a lot of headache. All right, but this is when the market's good, for example, for you guys when it's high season.
Correct.
But we also have low season, and here it's super hot and super humid during the summer, and obviously occupancy, I would assume, is not so high. Like, how do you guys manage this? Like, obviously, I'm sure it's something that you build in the business model, but is there anything that you guys do that puts you at an advantage in comparison to your competitors?
So basically, to give you a little bit an idea, during the summer we fight to break even. Basically.
You fight to break even?
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't think it was that bad. I mean, I know it's low season, but like it's just to even break even.
Break even, basically. A little bit more sometimes. Well,
do you do like anything special that's like a bit different from the rest?
I think it's always the same if you choose the right location. So most of the subleasing apartments we take are in downtown, close to Burj Khalifa, Dubai Mall. So even during the summer, if people can have direct access to Dubai Mall or very close to Dubai Mall, where there is AC everywhere, they can eat, do shopping, etc. That's a good point. Just location, and after sometimes it can happen that we have, for example, corporate clients or something like that. Contact us directly to stay 1 month in the property, and
Do you believe it will still have a good potential? Do you think it's still going to continue to grow, like the demand for And like just in general, the subleasing business, do you think like it's still going to grow, or do you believe it's just really now a hype because there's a lot of people coming in here and there's a lot of demand? Like where do you think this is going to go in the next few years?
Yeah, I think it will continue to grow simply because there is still more and more people coming to Dubai to live here, but also to visit. And because when you have, for example, a family moving to Dubai, their friends wants to come to visit them, etc. So, I mean, more and more tourists are coming to Dubai, and I think we'll always have certain demand for subleasing.
Yeah. And how many apartments do you guys expect to have? Like what's in the pipeline? Because I know you guys worked on, and Chris worked on a very large scale in London. Do you believe you will be able to achieve the same amount or more? Or?
Recently, I heard Chris saying that he wants 1,000 apartments in Dubai. so yeah, I think
Chris is very very optimistic guy. 1,000, so basically triple what he was doing in.
Yeah.
Or more.
Yeah, he had 300 units in London, and now he wants 1,000. Well, in the next few years, I don't know, just for, let's say, 2024, I mean, the next 12 months, it would be great if we can have, like, first, like, 100 would be great.
Yeah. So you think you can reach 100 in the next 1 year?
Yeah. I mean, we just the last 2 months, and it's just the beginning of the offer. We have like almost 10, so yeah, doable.
Yeah, that's great. And is this something that you feel like you will continue for the next few years, for the next 5 years? It will be like a good, let's say, a stable.
Well, I don't have a crystal ball, but yeah, I mean, this is great because the thing is that in my business in fix and flip, I don't have this kind of recurring monthly cash flow, you know. I make big deals, but when I make money, it's maybe 1 year later. Mm-hmm. So I think this is great to have another source of income, like more frequently. So yeah, I think
so. Basically, in what I'm understanding from you is maybe when the market stabilizes a little bit, fix and flip could also be another option. That, I mean, it still is an option, but you can also do it for smaller units because then they'll be a little bit more affordable. So
that's why I said to one of my investors recently, it's that he had 1 million dirhams, wanted to do a flip, but I told him like it became very difficult to find good deals on this price range. Yeah. So we could do subleasing with 1 million dirhams, which represent approximately 6 apartments, 2 bedroom in downtown, for example.
Yeah. And what's the return on those?
So the returns in terms of percentage is around 30% per year for the investor.
Yeah.
30 to even 40%
a year.
Yeah,
it's not bad. It's pretty good. So basically, right now, for anyone that's watching, you guys are also open to taking investments for the subleasing part, and obviously from everything we spoke about, it seems like there will be a good potential for it and good returns. Do you believe this is positively correlated to the fact that also with the vision of 2040, because they're trying to double the population, do you think also that's something that is going to help?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. And going back now, let's take a more personal take on you. So if you had to like pick all of the deals and everything that you've done, what's like the craziest deal that you've done so far? The one that was really like had the most unexpected returns or something that was very unique?
That's a good question. It's not in terms of returns. Well, it's not so crazy. Yeah. But it's funny. So when I was 16. Yeah. And I was working in this real estate agency. Yeah. So I was 16. You need to imagine I had this small motorbike, you know. And so my manager couldn't make it for the viewing with a client. And he told me, okay, can you go there? And it was the most expensive apartment we had for rent. Yeah. I said, yeah, of course I can go there. So I went there with like my motorbike with like a lot of tag, you know, on it, a big helmet and stuff. Met the clients, like they were 60 years old, something like that.
So you're 16 and they're 60.
And they're like, hello? And I said, yes.
Do you want candy?
I'm like, yeah, I'm the agent. They look at me like, what the hell? Okay. So I did the viewings, everything was great. Rented a place, signed a contract directly in the apartment.
Really?
And came back to the office, you know, with the contract signed. And I said, yeah, signed, done. And the agent told me, oh, nice. Congrats. I didn't expect that. I sent you because I thought we'd never close the deal, but nice. And even if I was in internship, so it was like for free.
Yeah.
But I expected like something at least. You know what?
You didn't get anything.
Nothing. He gave me like a pen and
he gave you chocolate
and a book. That's it.
A coloring book.
But that's fine. Well,
I mean,
it's not crazy,
if you close your first deal at 16, it's not bad. I mean, in real estate.
Yeah.
And they actually took you seriously, so that's pretty cool. You had a good run in the U.S. I know that. Well, first you started off in France, moved to the U.S. as you said, and I think you were doing very well, especially in Florida, Miami specifically. But it wasn't so smooth. I know that you've also had a very interesting story.
Correct.
When it came to that. So can you just share a little bit of what the very hard lessons that you learned from this?
Yeah, sure. Take the popcorn. It's important. So basically, to explain you a little bit, I was working with my dad in the wealth management company in France. And so we did all the French financial products that are like classic, but also investment in real estate in the US.
And this is which year?
So my dad started in the US to sell Miami products in 2010, something like that, just after the subprimes. So I was not working at that time.
Yeah.
So
everything was dirt cheap.
Yeah.
Just after
like
the crisis.
it was crazy. All the clients that bought property, they doubled their money in 3-4 years.
Yeah.
Not because we were genius and we made a good flip, not at all. Just the market just increased a lot. That's it.
Yeah.
And the rental income were very good because most of the crises where the prices to purchase the apartments drop. Usually the rental prices stay the same or approximately the same, so the returns are better. So after that, the prices of Miami real estate became like before crisis, so we didn't find very, very good deals for the international investors. But we wanted to still do some business in the US because our clients love the US. They wanted to continue to invest abroad, etc. And for us back then, it was. We were kind of out of the box investment company because we were almost the only one company to do that in France. And my dad said, okay, let's find another city that are still affordable and where we can still find good deals. So he talked with one of his friends. He said, okay, find me a good deal, a good city with a good guy on site to manage the properties, to find the properties, like someone key in place. He said, yeah, no problem. I will find someone. So he found someone in Detroit. So Detroit was a very, very interesting market back then because they had the subprime crisis in 2008, but also the automobile crisis in 2013. So they didn't have the time to recover from this crisis, from the first one at least. So the prices were still very cheap, the rents stayed high, so the returns on investment were very good in terms of rentals. So the other guy told to my father, okay, let's go to Detroit, My father said, Detroit, bro, it's the ghetto, maybe I should take some protection or something,
Yeah.
And anyway, he went there and he discovered that the market was actually very, very good. It was a real opportunity. So he decided to invest first properties for himself with this guy based there. He had office there, etc. And everything was working well, received the rents, everything. So he decided to start to, offer this to his investors.
French, yes.
Yeah.
French investors.
Correct. And so we started to scale this in 2016. The first property was sold, and until 2020, basically. Yeah, beginning of 2020. So we sold 1,000 houses.
1,000 houses.
Yeah, in 3 years.
Wow, in 3 years.
Yeah. So big, not bad.
Not bad at all.
Everything was very happy. Clients came with us sometimes because my father was going to Detroit every month, to visit the properties, etc. And clients sometimes came with us. When they came with us, they bought more houses than expected because they love the city. They feel, the potential, etc. Anyway, it happened that in January 2020, we discovered that this guy was a scammer and he scammed us. The entire portfolio, basically.
How was it a scam, though?
So basically.
The entire this whole thing was just a lie. Basically, it was just a facade. It wasn't.
To make it short, yeah.
Wow. So how did he do that?
So basically, he had someone there was two types of purchase. Either you buy cash or you buy land contract. Land contract is something, well known in the US. A lot of people are doing that. This is not a scam at all. So the basic of the land contract is that you pay 60% down payment and 40% in 5 years. But with the rent coming, this pays off your kind of mortgage, let's say, and you're good. So let's say 70% of the houses sold were with the land contract. And basically the documents that we signed are legit, verified by lawyers, etc.
Right.
Totally legit, all good. We received rents.
Okay.
He was doing the property management as well. So we saw on the portal, we received $850 rent, for example, minus the expenses such as property tax, property management fees, da.
But you were paying him first, right? So
we pay.
You paid the advance.
Exactly. We paid the advance
to purchase the house.
Correct.
And then he was renting it. So he was managing he was hypothetically renting it.
Correct.
So basically he wasn't really renting it. So how? So he was taking the money from you and paying you back your own money.
Yeah, to give you
the idea or the illusion that it's being rented when it's actually not.
Exactly. So basically, I will give you a quick example. The villas were around like $60,000 basically. Okay?
Right.
The rent was $850 per month. Minus the expensive, and if you put 60% down payment, you need to pay the 40% remaining, meaning that you have this loan as well to pay, meaning that the net cash flow after paying all the expenses were maybe $50 or $60 per month. So I send you $40,000 and he sent me back $50 per month, which is nothing.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So
basically he was making you feel or understand as if he was paying off the mortgage and he was paying off the installments and all of these things and just giving you back something. But so that means it brings us to the other legal part. But you said that everything is documented, everything is legal.
Everything is documented on our side. Like all the documents we signed are good.
Yeah.
Correct. But the thing is that after that, he had someone probably with the Wayne County, which is like the kind of DLD of there, where they register the titles and all of that. And he probably had someone that he paid most probably inside this government entity, let's say, because all the sales were cancelled for stupid reasons like wrong address, mistakes in the name, stupid stuff. I know it can happen in 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, but
villas.
that's the thing. If when no one noticed that there was something not right when it's hundreds of houses.
That's the thing.
Oh my God.
That's a big problem as well, even with the city, because it's not possible that something happen like this. That's why even from our side, we cannot even imagine as someone normal in the business to think that this is possible. It's like here, I told you, like the DLD approved the cancellation of the property you just bought. Yeah. And you don't know.
That's crazy.
So yeah.
And like what's the damage that we're looking at? Like how?
Sure. So basically this guy, the scammer, he was working with us as a referral agents, let's say. But people like us, he had a ton of people like this. We were the biggest one because we sold 1,000 houses, but the others are like 50, 100 houses, something like that. So just our case is $40 million.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the SEC, so because the SEC took the case and approved the case, so they said we were victims, etc. They accepted the case and they filed a complaint against this guy directly. So this is basically the US government filing a complaint against this guy, and they said in the filing that he has to pay $40 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So basically this guy pretty much for 4 years was working on this and no one from the government or from Wayne County noticed, and anyone that's working in the government office would notice, why does this guy keep canceling?
Well, when you take that amount of money, everything is possible, I think. You pay someone $500,000 and I give you this and shut up, you approve all the documents I send you. Well, people are living broke.
And do you feel like you could have done things differently? Like now looking back, do you feel like, do you have I'm not gonna say I don't like using the word regret, but do you feel like there could have been things that you would have done in a different way?
I have mixed feelings about this because I mean even the lawyers said that it was not visible from outside, like just not visible, and it's easy to say yeah we could have done things differently, we could have worked with someone else because the business model was very good, just this guy was bad. Like it's like because after this story a lot of people say yeah but Detroit was a scam but bro, there's a lot of scammer in Paris. It doesn't mean Paris is a scam. Same for Dubai, same for Miami, etc. So no, I don't regret. I would say I don't regret because I learned a lot from this. We can talk about it later, but I learned a lot from this. And I think that's why I'm here today as well, because now I'm a little bit paranoid and, I'm just very careful with who I'm working now.
Yeah.
But yeah, of course, I regret the fact that, I mean, we lost everything. My father had a business for 25 years working very well. 25 employees, traveling between France, Miami, Detroit, Dubai, etc. To make business. Everything was fine in his life, and now he lost everything. No company. He sold all his assets to pay the legal fees, to defend his clients. So
and defend his name, which he did.
Yeah, and yeah, he had money. I mean, a little bit, but okay. And now he doesn't have anything at all. So yeah, I regret that part because I mean I saw how much he was working, and to see him in this position currently, he doesn't deserve it, because of course he invested a lot himself in this product. He was the second biggest investor of his own company, basically. Of all the clients. So
it's unfortunate sometimes these things, they happen and they're so unexpected because you feel like you have it all figured out and you feel like you've got all your bases covered, but then something like a curveball like this comes at you and you just really don't know what to do. But it's I think if you had to take that as a example, you definitely feel it's a lot more safe here when it comes to those things, right? Like in Dubai, I don't think you have those.
So something like this cannot happen in Dubai.
Yeah.
Technically impossible because first, all the data of the title deeds are on the blockchain.
On the blockchain.
Yeah. So, I mean, just not possible to have something similar.
Yeah. Which is great because that's something that obviously was too early to adopt. And even now, I don't think they use the blockchain in the US.
No. The thing is, when buying a property in the US, you need to make sure that you have all the right people around you to buy a property completely safe. Because, there is a lot of things to check. For example, let's talk about Detroit. Back then, we had, a lot of people advertise, a house for sale for $1. It's not true. Because in the US, you need to pay the tax of the previous owner.
Yeah.
Let's say the guy has, I don't know, $100,000 of tax non-paid.
Yeah.
You have to pay it. So, and maybe the property value is $50K. So,
wow. So basically now the focus is on here. So when it comes to Dubai, do you have any personal preference as to which neighborhood or which, let's say, area you feel has the most potential at the moment?
For what? For
well,
flipping?
I mean, I would say for fix and flip and for subleasing. Like if you had to pick, I know for subleasing you probably tell me downtown for sure. For fix and flip, do you feel like it's which area is the best for this sort of?
I don't know all the areas, but Palm Jumeirah for me is safe.
Yeah.
A lot of high net worth individuals live there, and there is always demand for that. I personally loved Jumeirah Islands, but the problem is in Jumeirah Islands that a lot of people did the fix and flip.
Yeah.
And they increased the price because they renovated beautiful white villas, something very nice.
Yeah.
But the problem is that now there is so much supply on the market and they can't sell them. So
they can't?
Yeah.
Really?
Because there's so much supply. And because they actually copy paste exactly the same villas everywhere. So
this is why you have to pick a good contractor / designer, because you have to do things differently.
I think the biggest in Jumeirah Island, they are like a kind of investment company, so they wanted to scale fast. Of course, they choose the same tiles. They should choose exactly the same for everything.
Yeah.
But when you buy a $6 million villa, you want to have
you don't want
unique.
Your neighbor to have the same exact house and the same exact thing.
So the houses that they used to sell at 29 million dirhams, now they are selling for 23,
Oh
24.
wow!
So,
But
yeah.
they're still making money, but just not as much, or maybe.
Yeah, because they bought 1 year ago. But now, if you want to do the same in Jumeirah Island, you will buy most probably the non-renovated villa at like 18 or 17.
Mm.
You put your, I don't know, 3-4 million dirhams in rehab.
More than 4.
Yeah.
Easily more than 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And 4 million dirhams in rehab, and the profits almost non-existent, or maybe 10%.
Not even,
But-
because you have to add the indirect costs, you have to add the DLD fees, you have to add all of these costs that are not that have to go into
Correct.
this thing. Wow. Yeah, I mean, the only way that I would think that this would work is maybe that the only way that I think the prices would stabilize a little bit is if they probably start supplying or putting more lands in the market, so that people can also have the opportunity to develop from scratch. Because I think now also, I mean, buying something ready-made and flipping it is good, but like you said, if you're already buying it at such a high price,
there's no sense.
I mean, it doesn't make any more sense. Like, you have to wait for the market to stabilize a little bit.
Correct.
Okay, so if I had, I'm just gonna like ask you a few areas, and then I'm actually curious to see what you're gonna pick. So if I had to ask you between the following areas, what would you say for just overall preference? Business Bay or downtown?
Downtown.
Emirates Hills or District 1?
Emirates, yes.
Meydan or Jumeirah?
Jumeirah.
Dubai Marina or JBR?
JBR.
French people, why do French people love Dubai Marina and JBR? They all live there.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. I would say
Why?
I would say JBR for the beach.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the few places with like quick access. But like, why do they all live there? Is it because of the beach, or is it just because they like to stay as a tight-knit community together?
If you look at this, most of French people, when they move to Dubai, they want to live in Marina or JBR, and after 2, 3, 4 years, they start to move to downtown.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's just it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I noticed like there's so many French people in in JBR and Dubai Marina. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so you would pick JBR.
Yeah, for the beach access.
Yeah. JVC or Barsha?
Whoa, it depends for what.
It's hard.
JVC, I would say for the.
You don't sound very convinced, but I mean it's an upcoming area.
Yeah.
The JVC is like it's like black and white. People are just so
I'm not a big
different
fan.
opinions about it. But like it's an upcoming area in terms of it's a lot of developments there, and it's pretty well serviced. I mean, a lot of
that's why I said JVC, because I mean Barsha is almost full already.
Yeah.
So we'll not have a huge, big, nice product. Well, except here.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, and you also right now. I mean, area that we didn't talk about completely, we completely ignored, is the potential that you have also in Dubai South, and
especially that they announced the airport.
Yeah, exactly. So, but people still find it a bit too far, and
but well, I don't know, because if they really develop the Palm Jebel Ali, Dubai South, the new airport, etc., a lot of, I mean, we're talking maybe 10, 15, 20 years, okay?
Yeah.
But I think a lot of things will start to move there as well. And the middle of Dubai will actually be Al Barsha, the Palm, Jumeirah,
Palm, you mean Palm Jebel Ali, the new one? Or
no,
even the old Palm?
Palm Jumeirah will become the center of Dubai,
and
with Al Barsha, etc., because you will have downtown on one side of Dubai, Dubai South on the other side, and everything in the middle will be Barsha Heights, Al Barsha, Al Sufu, all of that.
Yeah, I mean, that's also the right way of looking at it, because it's definitely expanding that way.
Yeah.
And people that bought in Jebel Ali Hills made money just by waiting.
You need to be patient.
You need to be patient, so it's not quick money. But anyway, this is something that we will discuss on our weekly podcast.
Yes.
But today is only about Thomas and the amazing things that he's doing with his company and with Chris. But yeah, we'll talk more about the updates from the market in our weekly podcast. But it was great having you. Thanks. As always. And I'll see you in a few days.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
See ya. Bye-bye.